Hello my crafty friends, Corrine here from Corrine Crafts. I hope you are well and I hope you have been doing some lovely crafting recently. I'd love to see what you've been making. Now here is today's project. I did have in mind at the start when I started going that it would be clean and simple, and it's not as clean and simple as I envisaged, but you know what? I am so pleased with the finished result. I've kept the background simple. I've done 3 different embossing folders because I thought I'd have white on white, but then I've added a little bit of colour. But this swathe of colour through the middle, it's all been done by inking up my papers myself and then creating a colour. I do love pink and yellow and orange. I think they're beautiful, and I feel like I've just got the right shades of green here with the foliage. It's really pretty. I think I need to show you how I made it. I don't know if you'd noticed, but I try really hard to sort of do clean and simple, but I've decided I do Corrine clean and simple. I don't do clean and simple like everybody else does. I just struggled not to put some colour in there. So this is a Corrine clean and simple, and I'm going to use 3 different embossing folders on this one, because if you're not putting colour in, you need to, in my mind anyway, you might think I'm disagree with me, but you need to add something else. So I'm going to be adding the texture. I will be adding a pop of colour, but there's going to be a lot of texture. So I've cut a piece of card, and the card is 4 1/4 by 6 inches, and this will fit lovely inside this. So this is Crafter's Companion. I think it was free in a magazine, Practical Publishing. So it's a really pretty little embossing folder, but it doesn't take that big. I think, you know, your 5 by 7 is about as big as you're going to get in there. So I'm going to pop that one through there. Then I've cut myself 2 circles. Now I've used stitched edge dies, but you could use plain dies. And I'm going to pop the smaller one in this one. This is a Sizzix embossing folder. And the larger one is going to go into my Luscious Leaves. So we've got 3 different types of embossing folder. I always have to remember which way up it goes. So I'm going to pop all those through. Now all of these are 2D embossing folders, so I can pop them all through on the same combination, which is just the 2 cutting plates for my Sizzix, for my Gemini. Dear me, words are losing words tonight. So yeah, I'm going to pop all 3 through on my machine, and when they're done, this is what we get. I've got this lovely one here, look, with this gorgeous floral decoration on, this one with a different floral decoration on, and then this one here with the leaves on. And we're going to use all 3. Now I was going to pop all them together like that, but then I was losing those. So what I think I will do is I will look at my colour palette, and I'll show you my colour palette properly in a minute, but I'm just going to take a bit of pink and a bit of honey pot, and I'm just going to add a little bit of extra texture with those. My other colour for my main bit is orange, but this orange is quite a strong orange, so I won't do this. I put the wrong ones in when I've been prepping. That's orange, that's pink. Gosh, good job I noticed. That was because when I was prepping I put the lids on the wrong ones. Right, so this is my pink. I'm just going to go round the edge just a little bit. Oh, I've got some orange on my fingers. Careful, it's all right, I'll cover it up. I can hide that. There we go, just a little bit around the edge. Don't worry about that at all, we can mask that. And then for the honey pot, oh, that's a small one, let's use that one. Let's go with the honey pot, and then we'll go around the edge with that. That one can go back on there. A little bit of the honey pot, let's use a clean bit of cloth, and then we'll go round there. I just felt it needed a little bit so that it, you know, you could see a little bit of a differentiation. There we go. All right, there we are. Really nothing too complicated at all. So let's move those out of the way, and now when we bring our card back in, I can put that like that. Don't worry about that little bit of orange, it's going to be hidden in a minute. And we'll put those. So we're still not adding too much colour, but at least I can see them a little bit. So I think I should show you what my card base is going to be. And my card base is 5 1/2 by 7 inches, and I've popped some pink on here. This was a bit of pink I had left over from something else, but I have actually taken the middle of my pink out, and then I've got some white on the top of there, and onto that I'm going to pop this gorgeous yellow and some white. so we can pop that on with a little bit of my Sticks to foam tape. We're just creating lots and lots of dimension. So that's going to go on there. If you notice, there was a little mark on the white card, but I knew it was going to be covered up, so I wasn't going to get too hung up about it or even really draw too much attention to it. There we go. Perfect. And then we can pop this white on, because I do like white on white. So I'm going to pop that straight on without, you know, without raising it, because I just wanted the white on the white. So let's pop that on to here. Dear me. You always get a little bit on the end, don't you? Let's put that on with a little bit of wet glue. You can use your dry glue if you want, you know, your foam tapes, or not your foam tapes, you know, your finger lift tapes or whatever. Make sure you put that the right way up, because it's definitely got an up and a down. And then I've just got 1/8 of an inch round the edges of that. There we go. Look at that. I love that. That's really, really pretty. So let's pop these on. So I'm going to pop that one on first. I'm going to put this one on flat with a little bit of wet glue. I'm just going to put it approximately where I want it to be. And then I'm going to get this one. I'm just going to pop a couple of foam pads underneath here and take those off. And then that mark, I'm just going to pop that way around. Actually, I'm going to bring that down a bit. I don't think I need quite, oh, I will. I'll go like that. There we go. So the foam pads are just lifting that, and that one's going to just go that way so the music's level. There we go. Right, so that's my card base, and now I need to put some decoration onto it. So you've already seen I've got the pink and the yellow, and I showed you the orange. So I've got a scrap of card, and I've got my mat back again, and we're going to make our own papers ready. Right, so just a piece of regular multi-purpose cardstock, and I'm just going to get my honey pot, my orange, and also my pink tulip. So I've got myself a couple of brushes, blending brushes. Now they don't quite match properly, but they do roughly. I'm going to start with the pink tulip. Now I do find it's easier if you start off the mat and come on. Now pink tulip is quite pale. That's absolutely fine. And we can blend this on. Now you could use watercolour card, but I find that if you, I don't need watercolour card, and I'm going to be shaping the flowers, so I just prefer regular card anyway. And I'm just sort of placing the ink down. Now we're going to be using this to die cut from, so the pattern that you do really doesn't matter. I just wanted some different colours. There we go. Right, so I've just put those ones on first. Let's come on with the yellow. I do think pink and yellow and orange are a beautiful combination. So they work really, really well. I'm just sort of, you've seen me do this before. We lay down the colour first. Now this orange is quite strong. That's fine because we're going to build up, but you just have to be mindful that the, you know, some colours are stronger than others. There we go. Right, so once you've got all your colours mapped out, you can then start building them up and blending them together. But it is quite a useful thing to sort of map your colours first. So you can see that if you keep working on it, the pink can get quite strong. Don't worry, overthink about it. Like I mentioned, this is going to be die cut into. So at the end of the day, no one's going to actually see it. Now, if you wanted to, you could get some wet inks, and you could do splats and smooshes and whooshes and all that sort of thing if that's what you wanted to do. But I just wanted to do a little bit of blending. So I'm just blending into one colour, going over that pink with the yellow. There. And I've got more there. Just to add the intensity, just to build it up there. And I'm just going to use what's on the, oh no, I need a little bit more. I thought I'd got enough on there, but I haven't. You see, look, see, I didn't go onto the mat first, but don't worry. I say to you, always go onto the mat first, don't I? So let's just get that. And these brushes aren't as dense as some that I've got. And I do think the denser the brush, the better the blend. But don't worry, it's going to be absolutely fine once we're finished. Right, I'm going to leave it there whilst we do the die cutting. So let's move those out of the way. move the mat out of the way. And then I'll bring in my dies. So the dies I'm going to use are these. I have no idea where I got them from. I thought I was going to use that one. It's too big. I'm going to use this one. I'm going to place it. When I did the bits I prepped, I used all of the cardstock. I really, really did. So let's just use the bits we want to use. Now I'm going to do the same with some green and cut out the foliage as well. So let's just get a bit of tape and then see if I can capture all of those. Now these are cut and emboss dies. By that it means you've got quite open areas with no blade around. But I found that once I stick onto here, it doesn't stick very well. So what I tend to do is stick the die onto the mat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my plastic shim on, then my magnetic shim, and then my cutting plate. But I've not put my magnetic shim next to my dies. And the reason I've not put my magnetic shim next to my dies is so that I can peel it off and it's not going to disturb my dies. And then what you want to do is just lift up your dies. Oops, forgetting that it's stuck down. Now you can take your dies off this cardstock if you want to. You can pop that on here. We can get the dies. There we go. They are going to come off. There we are. And put them onto our embossing mat. Now it is always quite useful at this point to take the tape off, otherwise it presses it into the cardstock. So now I just want my plastic shim and my cutting plate, because the rubber shim has replaced the magnetic shim. And when I open this up and poke these out, you'll see not only is it cut, but it is embossed as well. Now the colours are a little bit wishy-washy at the moment, so I think what we need to do, put them dies out of the way, is we need to go back in and we need to enhance that. I often find it's easier to go back in. I've laid down the colour, I've done the majority of the work. Let's finish it off now. So I'm going to bring back my plastic mat, rubber, yeah, plastic mat, that's what the word I was looking for. And I'm going to bring back in these. I'm going to concentrate, I think, on the pink and a bit of the orange. So I'm going to come back in and really enhance that pink. And it does seem to pick up a lot better now. You can always go in with your blending tool if you would rather, your dauber. So we can come in with the orange. And I can do a bit of orange on the side of that pink. It's really nice to sort of mix the colours, isn't it? And then some yellow. Right, so once I've got them to that point, shaping mat, and where did that final little one bounce out the way? We'll find that in a minute. And then we're going to get some embossing tools and we're going to shape them. So I'm going to shape on there, just like that, and this one, and this one, breaking down those fibres. Then I've got a really small embossing tool. I'm really going to work it in to those ends, really add some shape and dimension. We're not trying to make it look like any particular flower. If we were, we could do some different ones, but these are just like a fantasy flower. So we pop those like that, little dab of tacky glue, grab your tweezers if you find it easier. Oops. Now I've got orange on that side, so I'm going to put the orange on the opposite side. It's not very often I go in with different size dies. I often just do the same size one on top of each other, which is what I do tend to prefer. But for this, I just wanted to put those like that. And then for this one, I'm going to get my larger pearl, grab my other tweezers, and whoop, that one flew out the way. I'm going to put a pearl in the centre. That one, I think I need a mid-sized pearl. That's not a mid-size, that's a mid-size. Get a mid-size one and pop it into there. There we go. Aren't they lovely? So you can go whatever colours you want. Now I've made quite a few. I've done a few here, look. And I've got some smaller ones to glue pearls. You know, they say they're adhesive, but they're not always, are they? There's another little pearl that's come off. let's just put that one. That one went in the centre of there. I tell you what, I can put any that are missing, I can put on after I've built the card, because I'll need to get the pearls out. So let's just drag that down there. Don't worry that glue shows. It's tacky glue, so it'll all dry clear. So I've got those, but I've also done exactly the same with the foliage. Isn't that gorgeous? Using the two colours of green. So I use pine tree and, show you here, pine tree and spring meadow. Just blending them together gives me that. Isn't that lovely? And I've got far more foliage here than I think I need. But you can see how you can cut so many more out of there. So let's just move that to one side. Let's bring the card back in. And then I think I'm going to need 3D glue. And I've got that at the side of me just here. So what we can do is I'm going to go that one. Oh, let's go that one and that one. I've got a pearl here. Why have I got a pearl on my thumb? Let's put that back in. They're not really not sticking tonight, are they? I wonder if it's too warm in my craft room. Maybe. There we go. There we are. Right, you can shape them and really get that to stand up. I like that one. So let's put those two just there. So this is why I like 3D glue. And you can see already straight away that orange mark that I'd put on has gone. And I want to use this one. I want to do quite a bit of foliage. As we've talked about so many times, you know, I always like a lot of foliage on my projects. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking that's going to be hidden. So I'm going to just literally trim that off down there. And that one I'm going to pop down there. So let me get a little bit of 3D glue and I can pop that just down here. 3D glue so I can pull it around and move it as I see fit in a minute. And then I'm going to get this one. Oops, I like this one. This is a nice shape. I'm going to pop it on that side. Again, hiding all the workings as we go. And again, my 3D glue is giving me plenty of wiggle room. You've got good half an hour. Now this is quite a nice one. So let's see. Oh, I can hide the fact that it was a cut one and put it here. There we go. Isn't that looking lovely so far? So let's actually stick these ones down. I wasn't sticking them down because I wasn't sure about the foliage, but then I found that the foliage tucks underneath nicely. So when you're planning it, you never know. Now this one, my die slipped. So all I need to do is, because I always overlap, I overlap like that and no one can see that there was a little cut in that die. Now I've got another large one. I think that's too big. So I'm going to go in with a smaller one, a single layer. And I'm going to get a pair of tweezers and I'm going to sort of slide that into there. How does that look? That looks pretty, doesn't it? Then I've got, oh, the gems are just flying off at the moment. Let's just come in with this one. Just there. Now I've got these little ones and I'm going to put these actually I won't put those on just yet because I know why. And then I want to put these bits of foliage on as well. I do like lots of foliage and I love the colours I've created with this. It's really, really pretty. This colour palette works so well, doesn't it? Oranges and pinks and yellows. It's just so, so pretty. Let's put that. Hope. Right, there we go. Now, before I go any further, I've got a couple of sentiments. I've got on your special day, I've got congratulations, and I've got with love. I think I might try I didn't know how big I needed. And again, those are from the Hunky Dory ones. I've shown them recently. So let's put that there. I want to put it on before I go too far. So I'm going to put quite a pile on there and then just a little wet on that side. Oh, and I dropped it. There. Oh, it stayed. The glue stayed. So let's put that one on that side. Has that glue touch? Yes, that works well, doesn't it? There we go. There we are. How about like that? That's not straight, is it? Let's just go. There we are. That's much better, much straighter. Now I'm just going to take some of these smaller ones, put a tiny little bit of glue behind. Oops, don't let go of them with your tweezers, Corrine. There we go. And I'm just going to pop them one and one down here. I love how all the colours just sort of work together, don't they? Wish I knew where that other one that I just made ping to. I might find it in a minute. Do I want this one? I put some glue on it. Could pop it just here, couldn't I? Yes, that works. Okay, right, I've got a couple without gems in, so let's just put a little blob of glue on there and a little blob of glue on there. And then, where's the right tweezers for this? And then we can go with one. I'm making it pig's ear of this, aren't I? There we go. Don't worry, it all dries clear at the end. Let's get my last gem for there and pop that onto there. I've even got a gem pickup tool. I don't know why I'm not using it. Let's just pull that one down a little bit. There we go. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. Might just stick one of these leaves just at the top, just because. Doesn't need it. Doesn't need it. And I've now put glue on. Pokey tool. There it is. Let's get rid of that glue. There. Oh, wipe that on the cloth. There we are. There we go. No, didn't need it. Thought it did, but didn't. So the final thing I want to do is just, I'm going to use these mid-sized gems. I'm going to get a couple of these mid-sized gems. I think I'll only need 3. 1. I just need something up here to balance it. 2. And 1. Don't want them in a straight line. 3. When I put gems on like that, I always try to make sure that there's no straight lines on there. How about that? Isn't that pretty? All about, I did say I was trying to be clean and simple, and I really struggle with clean and simple. It's not clean and simple by any means, but it started with that white base, and then I've just added colour and texture and dimension. But I just love that. I think that colour palette is so pretty. What do you think? I'd love to know what you think. Yeah, if you don't have something like that, you could just put a die cut. You could do stamp on a piece of paper, however you want. But I quite like all that white space at the top. Really pretty. Please let me know what you think. And did you see we had a couple of marks on the card that we've been able to cover up, you know, all sorts. You can cover up multitudes. It's how it looks at the end that matters. And I think that looks really pretty. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to do any more because I think I've done enough. So as always, I will put some links onto this side to some previous videos and links on this side to my subscribe. But if you can, down at the bottom, if you can click on the like, it really does help the reach of my channel. I appreciate it so much. I've also just popped down the links to some of the tools and the equipment that I use, along with a link to my Buy Me a Coffee page. And thank you to everyone that does click on those. So please don't forget to subscribe, and I will be back very soon with another project. If you make this, please don't forget to share with me so I can see what you've made. Bye for now.